Welcome to everyone. Well, this picture is kind of an indication of how my week went. Had been thrifting. I picked up a lovely big pillow form to make a nice big soft and comfy pillow for the daybed outside. And while I was out at a doctor's appointment, my lovely lady moved into the bedroom and decided it was going to be his. And when I came home, I found him in a cloud of pillow fluff. I mean, how can you get upset at that? He loves this and he drags it around the house with him and lays in it. It boggles my mind. He's so cute. Anyway, that was kind of the beginning of my week, and nothing really went as planned. I had the most wonderful day out with my kids on Mother's Day. We went to a local garden centre that I hadn't been to since before COVID, and it was just so lovely to be there. It was quite busy, but we had some lunch and got to spend time with the grandkids, and it was lovely. All the beautiful things that they had there. I mean, some of the things I've already done in my home, which is really quite cool. But there was lots of inspiration. Of course, all the greenery's out, all the plants are just gorgeous. So I was really inspired to get gardening and carry on with the backyard. As I said, there were so many beautiful things there and lots of inspiration. Of course, the kids were absolutely enthralled by the ball of sparkling water in the little fountain, which I gotta admit was very cool. On all these lovely fountain walls. I mean, there's nothing nicer than have a water feature, and not dissimilar to the lighted hoops that I have in my backyard. These are absolutely fantastic, so I might have a try at those in the future. But I did find some lovely moss and greenery pictures which are quite familiar. I have something quite similar in my bathroom. I'd love to have another go at some of these. I love the moss walls. And then of course all those lovely items, the old strollers and chairs that are covered in greenery. They really are. It's just so lovely. But I decided after that I was going to get into the garden, finish off all the little jobs I wanted to do, and I went thrifting. Now, I got some great deals, don't get me wrong. I'm really lucky with thrifting, but I didn't find anything that I actually set out to do. So let me show you what I got. I was looking for specific items and just really unlucky this week with things that I was actually looking for, as opposed to things that I found that were at great deals. For some reason I'm obsessed with shells at the moment, and I found these 3 plastic serving dishes, I'm assuming they are 50 cents each, and I thought those would be great for the summer room, the garden room, and keeping them out there for chips and things that I'm going to use for the summertime. I found these 2 smaller shells that I'm going to do a similar decoupage with that I did on my big shell a couple of months ago. So I'm going to decoupage them and trim them in gold and probably end up being like trinket dishes. These 2 are lovely as well, 50 cents each. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them again, but this shell theme, I think I might, if I can get enough of them, I might make a shell wreath for just to swap up later on in the summer. Lots of notions. Found these 2 little tassels. They have pins on them, and I have some similar to this. Thought I might add these to the daybed on the side panels. Lots of pins. The way I do a lot of sewing, so I always pick up pins, and this bag of notions was really cool as well. Found lots of stuff in there, lots of lovely old buttons, and I think I'm going to take a note out of Tarnished Treasures. She does the most amazing collections in lovely bottles, and especially with the specialty buttons like the mother of pearl. So I think I've got some lovely glass and cut glass bottles. I might start storing my mother of pearl buttons in there. These lovely little picture frames, I want to say there's 8 of them, and what I was thinking was putting some little silhouettes of my favourite authors and just displaying them on the wall. Either that or carrying on with my William Morris theme up the stairs and putting them there. So I've yet to decide what I'm doing with those. Found these two beautiful little handkerchiefs. These were 25 cents each. Very pretty. Love those. They're going to go in my collection. And I've had this for a little while. I'm not sure if I've included this on any other thrift hauls. This lovely, I think it was probably originally from IKEA, but again, this is going to be perfect outside. I'm going to give it a little, dress it up a little bit, maybe stencil it, seal it up and use it for taking things from the kitchen to the garden room for the summertime. This is what my hubby calls shiny. I'm in the middle of something, I get distracted. But I wanted to try this. This is from a website called Our Upcycled Life. I've seen her do this and it's amazing. You take packing tape and you put it onto paper that you normally wouldn't. It's too thick for decoupage. So what she does, you put the piece of tape down, really press it down heavily, push it down, bond it with the paper, and then you soak the paper and the tape for about a minute. Now this is heavy duty paper with the pattern on top, and the strangest thing happens once you start to sort of peel off the backing paper. The picture transfers to the tape, and this is so cool. Now look at that. I mean, how does this happen? It's obviously to do with the way the glue on the tape just adheres to the pictures. Done this with a couple of different items now. Now I don't know what I'm going to use it with. I love it. You're restricted to the size of your tape, so I'm thinking if I can get wider tape or even use some different like a clear adhesive paper that you get from the dollar store, I'm going to try it with that, with bigger images. But this lady uses it on scrapbooking and things like that. But I wanted to show a few different things here. So I've done the thick paper. This is an old newspaper. That is Princess Anne as a baby, actually, and then some general. And just wanted to show you how these turn out. It's all the same process. Stick them down properly, soak them in water for about a minute, and then peel off the paper with your fingers. And this just turns out so cool. So like I said, I'm not sure how I'm going to use these yet, but I'm definitely going to use them. And look how that turns out. And I thought it'd be great with some writing in the background or on top of a page. But I just love it because you can change the background and you get that sort of transparency through the print. It's lovely. I love this and I can't wait to use it. So this tin can transformation was a plan B. Initially I was trying to turn the desk into an outside cooler and recover 2 deck chairs that I've thrifted. I couldn't find the material for the chairs or the right things to do the deck chair, so those will be in next week's video. However, I did want to make a caddy for cutlery that can specifically be used from, take things from the kitchen to the outside and be left outside in the garden when we're having barbecues and people over. So I've taken a little tray that was initially from the dollar store and I thrifted, and then 3 of my cans. I have a large collection of cans that I save and use regularly. So I've given the tray 2 coats of this it's like a minty green chalk paint, which is one that I've mixed 2 colours together, and this is the colour that I've used already in items and decor that I've made for the garden room. So I'm continuing with this colour scheme. As you can see, this is the first coat of 2 on everything. I was going to decoupage the cans, but I decided to use my Cricut machine. I had some pretty floral paper that I thought would look nice. So what I did was I printed off a spoon, a knife and a fork, and then I did some little butterflies and some flowers, and I cut them all out, picked them all off and put them to decorate the containers. Once this is done, I've taken strips of the same paper and just lined the inside at the top of these little where the cutlery is going to go, just to make it pretty and to disguise the inside of the can. Once this is done, I'm going to glue them in place on the little tray in the center. I might actually screw up from the bottom just to keep them where they are. And then I found the stand from a tray. When you have a tiered tray and it has a handle on it, usually the old-fashioned ones where there used to be 3 plates. I've got a few of those around the house. I've used one of those, and then I've screwed up from the bottom of the tray and added this handle into the middle, and it's a great little thing to add to the tray so you can carry the caddy in and out from the indoors to the outdoors. Once it was done, I covered everything in a coat of the waterproof Mod Podge. This is really great. It's no good if you're going to leave things outside in the pouring rain, but it's certainly, you can wipe them down and they can get a little bit damp, and it's really not going to do any damage to the decor that you've put on the outside of the can. It also gives the paint a protective layer. This is the little handle that I found. These come in 3 parts. So the handle at the top screws through the plate into the next section, that screws into the next section. I've just used the top section, and because it has a screw hole through it, I made a hole in the bottom of the little tray and then screwed the handle on so it's nice and secure. This is a really easy and pretty wind chime. I've taken 3 cans, a small, a medium and a large. They all fit inside one another. I've covered them in a layer of decoupage with this very pretty William Morris paper. Again, the colours are all in keeping with what I've used inside the summer room. I used a nail and a hammer to make the holes in the centre of each of them. I've got a little Christmas bell that I've used as the chime from the bottom, and then I fit everyone inside one another, the cans, thread the string through them, just so that they're all just sitting inside one another, and then glued the string into place in each can with the hot glue. And what I'm left with is this really pretty coordinating chime. It's a very delicate sound. It's not loud. It's really pretty. It's a soft sound, especially with the little Christmas bell in the bottom. And as you can see, it's very in keeping with the rest of the items, the decor that I have in the garden room, as I've used this paper a couple of different times. I've just hung it inside the door, just because there's enough breeze to keep this blowing through the windows, and like I said, it's a very pretty sound for the summertime. Little condiment caddy is ideal for the summertime. I've seen them when you buy them from the grocery store, and they're made of paper and they have ketchup and mustard and relish in them. So this is what I want to do with this little carrier. I've had this for a while. I thrifted this a long time ago, and this is exactly what the purpose I was going to use it for. So I've painted it in the same chalk paint that I've used for everything else for the garden room. I'm just decorating a little bit, adding a little bit more to it with the decoupage paper on each end, and then I'm going to give it a good coat of Mod Podge, the waterproof Mod Podge, so I can use it outside. These things are great. At the time I finished this, I didn't actually have any mustard, ketchup and relish, because they haven't come out at our grocery stores yet. I'm thinking this weekend here is a long weekend. It's Victoria Day, so I'm thinking they'll have all their barbecue stuff out, and I'm hoping to pick up the necessary condiments to fill this little container. But in the meantime, I've put a couple of plants in which look really pretty, I might add, but it is perfect. Hopefully it'll be perfect for the summertime and all the barbecues and gatherings that we'll have. It'll just be ready to go. Pick them up, carry them out, and use them for the rest of the summer. This is a really cute little tin can watering can. I've seen this probably about 2 years ago initially. Recently I saw it on White Cottage Company. She's done it a little bit different to how I'm going to do it. You make the spout at the front with the pliers, keep the rest of it as round as possible. Now this is going to be a decorative one and I'm just going to glue the handle on, but I'm going to get a bigger can, like a coffee jar, and I'm going to screw the handle in properly and then seal it so it's waterproof. What I've done here, I've decoupaged the can and the handle and then glued it into place, and it makes the prettiest little decorative watering can. But I am going to do this again with a bigger can and I'll show you that next time. How cute is that? I will put a plant in it. I think it's just so bloody lovely. But I'm really determined to find a bigger can and make an actual working watering can out of it. I also wanted to say a special thank you to Denise, who suggested that to stop the mosquitoes coming through the door handle holes, that I take clear Christmas balls and decoupage them or paint them some way and glue them into place, and that is exactly what I've done here. These were Christmas balls that I did last year and I've used the alcohol paint in them. The green one is definitely my favourite, but thank you for that idea. I have done this in the past because you guys come up with some really great ideas, and I always like to give credit where credit's due. I don't always come up with these ideas originally. I do come up with a lot of them, but somebody usually comes up with them first, so thank you for the inspiration. I do appreciate it, and it just wouldn't be right for me to take credit for somebody else's work. But do continue to send me your great ideas, and I do appreciate it when you come up with something that I may not have thought of beforehand, so thanks again. It seems to be a real trend with me at the moment. Things just aren't working out the way I planned them to do. Do you remember this last week? I wanted to make a light out of a paper mache balloon, and I just wasn't happy with it, so I repainted it this week. I got inspiration from the little balloon that I saw at the garden centre. And so I went back in, I painted it all this lovely beige colour, then I went over it with the black, marked out the areas that I wanted in the black, and then I added dollar store ribbon, some cord, some little black bubbles, and then glued everything in place and went back over it then with sets of lights. In the little basket I added a large clear Christmas ball and then put little coloured lights in that. And it wasn't quite dark when I did this, but honestly at night it looks so pretty. So it is out in the garden room and I am so happy with how this version turned out. Again, just really simple. I might feed lights up inside the balloon. I'm not certain, but if I make any more changes to this, I will let you know. But that is my redo from last week, and I'm very pleased with how it turned out. So actually this week's video was nothing how I planned it to be. I have a couple of thrift hauls that I've got some really great little items that I'm going to make over and incorporate for the garden. So hopefully those will come up next week. I'm looking for items in particular to make things work. So once I find them, I can go ahead. So have yourself a great week. If it's a long weekend with you, have a lovely long weekend. Have a happy and healthy week, and I will see you all next week for the video that should have been this week. So have a great week and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and keep the comments coming, especially the nice ones, because I really do enjoy those. Thank you.